The Bullrun is here, and this is the proof you need. Hello everyone, this is Richard and welcome to a new weekly overview here on AltCryptoTalk. As mentioned last week, if USD dominance breaks below the 5%, we'll be expecting the altcoin season to start. After just 2 days, we had the break and the crypto market went crazy. Is it a coincidence? Who knows? Anyway, for today, I'll be going to share the reasons why the altcoin season has already begun. So let's get started, and of course, if you like such content, don't forget to smash that like button. And of course, you can find the previous videos, or especially the last weekly overview where I've mentioned all of these in the description below. Let's start with USD dominance. As mentioned, if you break below the 5%, we'll be expecting the bulls to take over. And as you can clearly see, we had a shift in momentum from bullish to bearish, previously after breaking below this low, and this week after confirming the shift by breaking below the 5%. However, we are currently around this support zone at 4.4%. For the bulls to remain in control and the crypto market to make new highs, a break below the 4.4% is needed. Meanwhile, we are still bearish for USD dominance, which is of course bullish for the crypto market, and we can still have a correction along the way. Next, we've got total market cap. As mentioned last week, for the bulls to take over and to shift the momentum, a break above this last major high is needed, around 2.85 trillion. And then we had the break and we also broke the 3 trillion round number. So of course, it's very obvious that shift in momentum already happened from bearish to bullish, and we are currently expecting more investments, more money flowing into crypto. As mentioned previously, just like USD dominance, corrections are expected along the way. But what's more important is that we broke above high and around number 3 trillion. So every correction now would be a dip, which would be an opportunity for us to be looking for trend following longs. Next, BTC, which is of course one of the main factors. As mentioned a couple of months ago, where we were around the 72k, where everyone was panicking and so on, I made a short stating that BTC is going lower, but how low can we go? And I've mentioned this 5 intersections, which would be the lower trend line here in blue, overall direction from a long-term perspective, macro perspective, 34% correction, support, demand, and of course the lower bound of this falling channel was from daily time frame. Anyway, we had the rejection from here and we surged in a crazy parabolic manner. Anyway, we are currently around the upper bound here, which is also the all-time high. If you break it upward, as mentioned last week, this would be a very strong indicator that the altcoin season is here to stay and will be expected to be extended for a couple of months, of course, entering into summer. Daily time frame, we are still bullish, as mentioned last week. If you break above the 88.5, we'll be expecting this bullish movement, and then a break above the 95.5 is needed for the bulls to take over and to keep on pushing towards the 104, 107, and this is where we currently are. For the bulls to remain in control and to keep on pushing higher in a very aggressive manner, a break above the 107 or even 109 all-time high is needed. Meanwhile, as mentioned previously from USD dominance, we are now bullish, and every bearish movement would be a correction to look for trend following longs. Our next support would be around this area, which is the intersection of a structure, support now, demand zone, aggressive bullish movement from here, and the lower trend line, as you can see in orange. This is a trio retesting of 3 key factors around the 98, 97. This is where we'll be looking for longs. So long story short, if you retest this, look for short-term longs. If you break above the 107, expect longer-term bullish movement, and Bitcoin would enter price discovery phase because it would be breaking above the all-time high. Next, ETH, which is the most important indicator, as mentioned last week, that the altcoin season would start. It would be breaking above the 2.1k, and as you clearly notice, after breaking it, the crypto market went crazy, especially altcoins. BTC dominance, which we'll be checking in a bit, dropped in a very aggressive manner, while everything else pushed higher. The main indicator was ETH breaking above the 2.1k. As you clearly notice, we broke it and we kept on pushing higher, even breaking above the 2.5 resistance, which is now acting as support. As long as the 2.4 support level holds, which is the lower bound of this big support, we'll be expecting ETH to keep on pushing higher towards the 3.1k, which will push altcoins in an even more aggressive manner. This week was just the start, or last week over the weekend. Expect bigger pumps, more aggressive ones, especially for altcoins, sector after sector, as you clearly noticed already. So, long story short, as long as we hold above the 2.4, we'll be expecting this movement, of course, to be confirmed on lower time frames after, for example, breaking above a flag pennant as a continuation pattern. Vice versa, if you break below the 2.4, it would just be a correction. Altcoin season is already confirmed after breaking above this. This would be a correction, providing us with a very strong setup to be looking for trend following longs on almost every altcoin or your favorite altcoin, because you can't really buy everything, right? 13 million tokens already. So you have to be selective, you have to go for, and of course do your own research and find the ones that suits your expectations, risk appetite, investment plan, and so on. So if you push lower, this would be the first rejection around 2.2k, a very strong demand zone. This is where we'll be expecting the bulls to kick in again. BTC dominance, as mentioned last week, and currently we've rejected the upper bound of this rising weekly wedge pattern. As mentioned last week, if we rejected, break below the channel, we'll be expecting the altcoin season to start. BTC dominance going down, altcoins surge, shine. BTC dominance goes up, altcoins might struggle a little bit. They can still go up, but they might struggle a little bit. And this is what we needed to see, a break below this, shifting the entire momentum from bullish to bearish. Of course, BTC can still go up, break the all-time high and so on, as you saw, but altcoins will be pushing in a more aggressive manner. It means if BTC push higher like 1%, altcoins will be pushing by over 10%, 20%. It depends on how big the market cap is. Anyway, currently approaching the support zone. If you break it down, we'd expect an even deeper bearish movement, losing the dominance for BTC, which would be very, very strong for the crypto market. OTHERS.D, which is also a very good indicator for the altcoin season. We broke already above this minor high, but we still need a break above this 9% dominance for the bulls to remain in control, for the altcoins, and for the dominance to be even stronger. And this is, as mentioned previously, this is just a start. We are expecting this now, which is an even bigger leg. Usually the third wave is the biggest one. We are currently in the first wave, second maybe, and then the third would be something like this. This is where you want to be catching profits. BTC is already in the third wave. We had one movement, correction, another movement, correction, and we are currently starting the third one, which is the biggest one. ETH/BTC, very important indicator also, as mentioned last week. If we reject this area, especially breaking above the 0.02, we'll be expecting the altcoin season to start, or BTC dominance to drop, altcoins to shine. And this is exactly what happened. As you can see, after breaking this, we had a classic retest, a small wick, and we pumped like crazy. Now around the upper bound, just like USD dominance, around the 4.4%, BTC around the all-time high, and so on. So we are currently around the make or break zone. We are now bullish. Altcoin season has already begun, confirmed, but we might be expecting, as you clearly notice, a correction before the continuation to the upside, because ETH/BTC is currently around the upper bound of this falling channel. We might be seeing a correction resulting in a higher low and then break it upward. This would be an indicator that the next bullish wave, which would be more aggressive, would be starting. Next, we've got BNB. Yes, BNB, as mentioned last week, for BNB to break above the 700, this would be a very strong indicator. But as an early alert, if you break above this last major high marked in orange, which would be around 650, this would be a good start. So we broke it this week. Now we are bullish. We shifted the momentum from bearish to bullish, now making higher highs and higher lows. We might still have a correction, but if you break above the 700, this would be a very strong indicator. Last but not least, LTC. Yes, LTC. As mentioned last week, this would be a very, very good indicator because usually it's stable. Once it's going higher, even by a couple of 2-3%, this would be altcoins going crazy. And of course, vice versa. If LTC goes down by 5%, you will see many altcoins, especially new ones with small market cap, will be melting. This is where altcoins were melting, and this is where altcoins now are surging, are pumping. Anyway, a good indicator would be LTC keep on pushing above this support. It's a very strong support, turned resistance, and now finally turned support again, which is a very good indicator that the altcoin season is here to stay. Of course, as long as this holds around or above 92, we might still have a correction for the support, but then we'll be expecting this and moving towards the 130, 129 supply zone, upper bound of this big resistance zone. This is the leg you want to keep an eye on for the altcoins to surge. Let me know if all of these reasons make sense to you, which one you like the most or do you keep an eye on to feel the overall market. And of course, let me know in the comments if you want me to go over a specific altcoin or what you are currently holding. And I'll see you hopefully next week.